What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We're starting things off today with the Cerberus, which is a vanilla missile destroyer, I believe is how it's labeled in the workshop file. Could be wrong. As always, take it with a grain of salt. So yeah, this is actually a pretty interesting build, especially being vanilla, because first of all, we've got this cool kind of I hesitate to say triangle because it's really not a triangle, but like a triple arm kind of setup with the angles, which I'm not really sure from looking at this here if it's done through rotors or not. It possibly, yeah, it is. These two anyway. I wasn't sure if they were just doing some creative angles or something, but nope, it's done through rotors, which is cool. This top one I don't think is. Could be wrong. But it seems like it would be unnecessary. Yeah. So, but it creates a cool effect. I really like it. You've got this kind of circular command ring, and then you've got these three arms. Now, there is an interesting aspect to this in the workshop file screenshots that I saw that I want to take a better peek at, and that's the turrets. Again, they're fully vanilla, but they're very interesting looking. So we're going to see a bit of those in a minute when we actually get into the command room and extend them and do all that stuff. But I'm always looking for new turret designs that are vanilla, so that you don't have to download modded turrets and things, but you still don't get just standard fixed weapons or the vanilla turret type things that just kind of stick out everywhere. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to those. Now, this does seem to have some kind of projection missile or something, unless these are decoys or something, but kind of interested to see what those are for. I don't see a warhead anywhere, so I'm not really sure if these are missiles or not. They could be, and the warhead's just in the middle there. Not really sure. We'll figure it out, though. But I really do like the style. It reminds me of one of those ships. Obviously, it's not. But it reminds me of one of those ships where, like, these arms would spin or something, which would be kind of cool. Now, one issue... There it is. I was going to say is I don't know where the door is, but it's actually fairly convenient right above these arms. So let's go ahead and get inside here. Looks like we have a strip controller. Now there is, oh, this is cool. I like the glass ceiling walkway hybrid. There is one thing in the description about making sure, I think it was making sure that, oh, that's nifty. That's not actually the walkway, that's the, I thought you could walk through here and it was just dark. Apparently that's actually the stairway. That's kind of cool. But there was something about, ooh. ADD much. Yes, I know. Turrets computer. Interesting. Door computer. Oh. Well, that's cool. So, ooh, I like this too. I always love the, oh, now that's neat. That's a cool way of doing it. You got the small grid coming around here, and then it lets you attach the chair to that. That's kind of cool. But I always like this small grid for bridge components and things because it lets you do more detailed stuff, which is pretty cool. Now that's interesting. Hold up. That's kind of cool. Where's the small grid then? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I'm confused. This is a large rotor head. I'm assuming that's a large rotor connector. Oh no, that might be a small one. Oh, that's a neat trick. So rather than using a small rotor head, they're actually using a small connector that has a large connector to the larger rotor head. Interesting. Curious. I think, if I'm understanding that correctly. And I have no idea, other than shenanigans, how this was done. Because that is interesting. It's an advanced rotor. Maybe the advanced rotors are smaller on the small grids. Who knows? Yes, I know they should be smaller on the small grids. I'm saying, like, I thought it was more like a full block, just smaller. That's interesting. Now I don't see too much else of an interior. We basically got cryo chambers here, bunks for the crew. We've got the thrusters up there and the command modules. So it's mostly guts. There's not a lot of interior here. All right, so what are we looking at? Aim ring. Ooh, that sounds fun. Missile reload. Program for launch. Long-range aim camera. Turrets on, turrets off. Jump drive. And that looks like most of the controls. Now, it did say something about making sure the turrets were set to a certain thing. Ah, there it is, right there, if you can read it. Only turn off turrets when there are no enemy, and all turrets are at initial state. So, essentially, don't turn them off if they're in the middle doing something, because I guess bad things happen. Oh, okay, so we have a turret on and off. Gotcha. Alright. So, let's start playing around with this. What's our first thing? Aiming ring. Ooh. Oh, that's kind of cool. It staggers. I like that. Put your target at the center. Now let's try movement first. It does seem to accelerate and stuff okay. The rotation, like the QE mouse gyroscope type controls, are fairly sluggish. So, yeah, bear that in mind. It's not very quick response kind of thing. So we have our aiming ring, which is pretty awesome. And then missile reload, I'm assuming, is going to create. Yep. So those are missiles. Cool. Now for the launch button. So they fly out. That must be controlled through an AI script. And then they fly away. So, at the risk of blowing off these arms, let's try a bit of spammery. I cannot believe that worked and we didn't blow anything up. I am totally impressed with myself. Oh, and then it rebuilds it, so if we turn that off and then we fire a bunch of them... Maybe? And with the button, or with the missile reload off, then it doesn't automatically build up more missiles. So that's cool. Alright, let's see what else we got. Long-range aiming turrets on and off. I see. Now, for the fun one, 5. Ooh, look at the turrets go. That's pretty cool looking. And then if we turn them off, they go back down. Now, obviously, there's nothing for them to shoot at, so we're not really seeing them rotate and move around. But one thing I wanted to check before we call this one good is I wanted to get a better peek at these. So these are pretty cool looking. I really like them. So we have a rotor here with a couple connectors leading to something. What is this? Conveyor junction. Okay. And then what? We got spotlight, some blast door blocks for framing. Got 4... Oh, I didn't even see those missile launchers in there. So we've got 4 Gatling guns with a reloadable rocket launcher with a connector on the side. Very cool. I really like that design. It doesn't look vanilla at all, which is really cool. And then I'm guessing we have a piston head, or I mean a piston with a rotor on it as the extend and retract kind of thing. Pretty darn awesome. Alright, so that's going to do it for this one. Let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, so next up we have a Star Wars Venator class Star Destroyer. I think I said that right. For some reason, I always want to call it a Venerator, but there's not even enough letters in the word to do that. So, Venator, I don't know. Anyways, the cool Clone War one that basically everyone in Space Engineers has done at some point. Yeah, this is a big ship. And so I don't know that it will hold up too well in terms of frames. It seems to be doing okay. I'm getting this weird frames are okay, but things still kind of stutter a little bit, so I'm not really sure. The sim speed and everything looks fine, but maybe it's still loading in some stuff, I'm not sure. But the coolest part to moi about this ship is it's supposedly 1-to-1 scale. I don't know, I'm no Star Wars ship expert to where I would know that kind of thing. But it's supposed to be 1-to-1 scale, as well as I believe it is vanilla. I'm not sure. I think they said that in the description the only mod was the skybox for Coruscant, which I gotta admit, I might end up using as a thumbnail, and I probably should use more skyboxes for my thumbnails for this series, because it looked pretty cool when we first started, didn't it? Now, there is one thing I have to note, that the internal interior part is virtually hollow from my understanding. It's not very detailed. Like, there's a bridge and stuff like that, but as far as I can understand, as far as I know from reading the description, it's not fully fleshed out or anything like that. Mainly because of the performance tax that it was... Ooh, that's kind of cool. That it was starting to have, according to the builder, that it was already starting to be a little bit of a performance hog, so rather than trying to do an interior as well, they kind of just did a bare bones. So, it's there, and if you wanted to take it further and go for trying to build more of an interior, go for it. You can read more about that in the description, but I was blown away that this was vanilla, because it looks gorgeous in terms of, you throw a picture of the ships from the movies and put it next to this. This looks pretty darn close. I mean, they've even got all of the tiny, like, just random greeble crap all over in the middle and on the sides, and it doesn't look Space Engineers-y at all. And what I mean by that is Empyrean and Space Engineers both use that cube kind of shape where everything is a square, even if it's not, it's fitting in the same size square kind of thing, other than the 2x1s. This doesn't look like that. It looks like it's not even built with blocks. It just looks built, which is impressive, to say the least. So, I'll probably just keep flying around out here because, like I said, there's not as much to see on the interior side, and I do know that it's said in the description that I believe it can move, but it's gonna move like a Star Destroyer, so... And you can tell just by the number of engines or thrusters on the back here that it probably takes quite a bit to move this hunk junk. So I'm curious, actually, when we get in the bridge and the flight seat to see what the weight of this ship actually is, because it's got to be huge. I mean, there's like a bajillion blocks here to make this work. It's ridiculous, but I have to admit, I've done a lot of Star Destroyer builds, particularly the Venators. I don't know why, but they seem to be super common on Space Engineers Workshop stuff, that if they're going to do a Star Destroyer, it's probably going to be one of these. And it's still, this one just looks probably the most accurate that I've ever seen. It really does look like the ship. It's bordering on like an actual perfect recreation of it. It's crazy. Let's see. So here's the... Do I not have my lights on? I guess I didn't. Not that it's helping much, because this hangar is so big that my headlamps really aren't getting anywhere. Do we have gravity? We have no gravity. Oh, that means mag boots. I don't want mag boots. Alright. So we do have... Actually, there's a decent interior in here. It's just not crazy detailed, like we've seen some, but yeah, there's actually more of an interior than I expected. He says as he runs into a wall. I had to make sure that wasn't some kind of piston-based door somehow. I don't know. If we can find our way... Oop, that looked like a door. We can find our way to the bridge, though. That's what I'm looking for. But yeah, there's actually quite a bit that's been done in here. I was thinking it would be more like this, where it's just empty. But there was actually a significant amount done there. So yeah, if you were looking for a hull but wanted to put the interior in, this would be a good one to go with. Although, like I said, I should pointed out that it is fairly taxing on a system, especially if it's not up to date or something. So that may not prove very easy to modify. I wonder if there's a separate door. Maybe. Oh, there's another hangar over here. Let's go to the... Wow. Where's this go? Oh, okay. These are like the lower hangars. Alright. Well, since we're... Well, this is the ventral one, it looks like. Yeah, I always loved that about Star Destroyers, how they had this big old hangar door on the bottom. I always thought that was so cool. Nothing was nearly as impressive as the first time you see Star Wars and you see a Star Destroyer swallow another ship. It was like, oh, it's big enough to eat another ship, you know. Or at least for me, anyway. Now, what I'm thinking is there might be a separate door for the bridge. Maybe. There's windows. Assuming that this is actually where the ship's controlled from. Some of these builds, when they're not done fully interior kind of thing, some of them, the bridge for where you actually fly them isn't in the same place. Let me poke around a little bit more, see if I can find an actual hatch. But man, there's just a ton on the outside here that's just so well done. It really is really cool. Alright, so let me see if I can track down a bridge or a flight seat somewhere, and we'll see how this behemoth actually moves. Alright, so through flying around with spectator mode, I believe I found a way into the bridge, though I highly doubt it's how you're supposed to get there. It'll work for our purposes. So if we fly in here, past the lights, and then down this way, there is a door. And there's actually a lot in here, too, that, like I said, it's not really fully done or anything like that. Wow. It's got really dark. In spectator mode, this was like all lit up when I flew through here with my lights. This is like pitch black in here now. Right? I guess I won't show that then. Good grief. So, anyways, there's a lot of open space in here. And then when we get in here, we're going to fly up, and we should end up in the bridge. Voila! So yeah. And then we kind of have that nice little indent that's famous for Imperial ships. And good lord, I hope this is the right one, because who knows? I don't see any controls, but we're going to roll with it. So, like I said, awesome looking ship. I mean, from a distance, you would never even know this is Space Engineers kind of thing. If you were far enough away, it's like, this looks straight up like it's from the movie. It's really cool looking. Oh, good grief, I just looked at the numbers. What is that? 180 million kilograms? If I read that correctly? Good grief. So obviously, slow to accelerate. I mean, what'd you expect? And I think it's turning. I think it's turning and it's rotating. But it's not exactly going anywhere in a hurry. So mostly it's design eye candy kind of thing in terms of just how epic this build is in terms of getting everything spot on detail wise. But it's not super great if you were actually wanting to like fly it around and turn it, unless you were really looking for a Star Destroyer that moves like a Star Destroyer. So with that, we're going to wrap this one up, and let's move on to the last one. Alrighty, and last but not least, we have the JAXA Watatsumi. I think. Maybe. Probably. So this is actually an interesting ship. This was a viewer submission, so I wanted to use it. I did have to do a little bit of world cleanup to make it run a little bit smoother, because it had like planets and other things in it that they were just bogging down the sim speed. It's still a little on the sluggish side, but it's a lot more doable, and I can fly around. The sim speed seems to be holding pretty strong, so we can actually get a better view. Really cool looking ship, honestly. I like the color palette of the kind of cyan with the charcoal color. I think it's really cool. There's a lot of guns all over this thing. I believe it was designed... I skimmed through the description, but it was very lengthy. And I believe it was designed as kind of an assault-type vessel, like a deep space assault vessel, something like that, I think, maybe. Not sure. But as you can see, there's a lot of guns all over it, so whatever it was designed for, it was going to defend itself. And there's even one of these Gigantor guns in here, which is just huge and awesome. We've got some bombardment-looking type weapons down here facing the bottom. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff with this ship. I really like it. I also like the interior and stuff because the interior was designed quite a bit with a lot of mods to give it a little bit more life-like. This is a world file, hence why I said I had to do some world cleanup, so it's not just a blueprint. But it does save you from having to download the ton of mods that were necessary. Now,
health low.
That's a thing. Apparently we're in survival mode, actually. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, so that's a lot better. I did not know it was set up for a survival mode. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get in here and start exploring around, because the exterior is really cool, as you can see. I feel like I've flown around it enough times, though, for you guys to get a... Ooh. He says as he finds something new. What are you? C15 jump drive. Okay, that's a new mod that I have not run across before. What? What? Large pipe? Gosh. How do I keep finding... I end up using the Inspiration series to find out about new mods that I didn't know were out. It's pretty crazy. But anyways, I really want to explore the interior because I've always had this thing where I really like the idea of spaceships getting to a point where you're essentially like floating, or like colonies and stuff, like floating Earth kind of thing. So this whole thing with the plants and whatnot is really cool to me. I really think this is awesome. I love this kind of stuff where you have this, you know, they're just... Oh, and I didn't even realize it has an air gap type thing, not air gap, airtight hangar doors all around here. That's pretty nifty. So if something were to go into like battle mode, you can shut all the plants off, basically close this airlock, and you've sealed the main area. That's pretty cool. But we've got this kitchenette type area, which is awesome. I like it a lot. Now, the game actually, or the world actually spawns you when you first start. If you just download it off the workshop, like I said, I've done some editing to make it a little more friendly for a showcase, so I can just walk through it a lot easier. But it actually starts you down here in the cryo room. So I kind of had a peek at this stuff before recording because I had to get out of here. So when you come up out of the cryo room, you've got the bridge, which is epic. We've got this cool crossbar bridge type thing, combined with a great view from all this ship window stuff going on along the outer edge here. It's got a almost like a, I don't know, 270 field of view or something, maybe 180, something like that. Pretty cool. Again, we've got like a forest around us, which is really cool. I love that, and I never even noticed it because I just kind of ran out the door. But I like that all of this has the airtight hangar doors as like a blast shield. So that's pretty cool. Really like that. And like I said, you would go this way. Now I happen to spy this here. This little elevator, or passageway. I guess that doesn't go to anywhere. I thought maybe that was a secret room. So the rest of this I hadn't really seen. I kind of just ran straight out that back door to get an outside shot to start with. So it looks like we have bunks here, which is cool. I like how everything has a blast door to seal the windows. That's a cool idea. Oh, this has an interior glass window. That's nifty. I do like that idea, though, because it would make sense in reality. You know, if you were under attack, you'd want to, like, seal the glass. You would not want that breaking in a real spaceship. Glass breaking in a spaceship would be bad. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess those are air vents. They kind of look like steam pipes, kind of, you know, kind of thing. But I guess those are supposed to be air vents. Modded air vents, it would seem, but air vents nonetheless. Now I'm guessing this is glass. Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. So this is just some kind of like vent passageway kind of looking thing. But now I'm imagining more of the internal guts and stuff are down here. Ooh. You guys know me at this point. I've almost put out 200 episodes of The Inspiration. We all know where I stand with glass. So, you know, anytime you do a glass floor like this, oh gosh, and don't get stuck. This is awesome. I love that. That's so cool. And you got the view of the reactor. Uh-oh. Is that reactor on a rotor? Is it? Because that would be one of my other top 3 things. So far we have plants inside a spaceship, 1 point. Glass everywhere with glass floors, 2 points. If there is a spinning rotor, or a spinny reactor, or anything spinny in here, really, then I think we have a 3-point winner. Because that's usually my 3 Achilles heels when it comes to showcasing things. Like, if they have those 3 things, I'm just done. I'm like, yep, this is an awesome ship. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad either. So we'll definitely call it a winner, even if it doesn't have any spinny things. I don't think it does, actually, because that looks like what we had there. And I think that's a tube adapter. So we might have not lucked out, but the opposite of lucked out with the spinny things. But I love the glass and the plants and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. So let's see. So we have more hangars here, which I'm guessing these are connectors by the looks of things. So you're probably looking at a fighter hangar, which is awesome. What I am a little curious about, though, is I feel like there's a section down here, unless that passageway is just for looks, that I can't get to. That might just be for aesthetics. I guess it's for aesthetics, because it goes into just an interior wall. So, I guess that's just for looks. I must admit, the size of the ship on the outside had me thinking there would be more interior rooms. So I'm a little surprised that that's the interior scope. What's here looks really awesome. I gotta give it that. I mean, I really like the look of everything in here. I just really thought, based on the size of the ship, the outward appearance anyway, not that, you know, not that it actually is disproportional or anything like that, because it's probably not when you think of the front having that long bow with all the guns on it. That's probably mostly guts and armament and conveyors and stuff like that, so it's probably not really disproportionate at all. It just looked like it would have a bit more interior, but I guess not. So kind of what you need is what you get. But what is here, I really like. I love all these plants, too. I think that's really cool. It's like flying around with a forest in space. We are going to give this a go. It is a little dark. Let me see if we can rotate towards the sun. Wow! Holy crap, does this thing rotate. Wowzer. If it flies like that, this thing almost flies like a fighter. Holy crap, man. Alright, what do we got here? Spotlights, lights exterior, lights floodlights, beacon, energy shields, always a staple. Oh, it has modded gyroscopes, that might be why. Thrusters, reactor, antenna, projector, nanites, batteries, another reactor, another antenna, timer block, hangar door open, hangar close, connector controls. Ah, here we go. Weapons, battery on. Railgun. That sounds fun. Big Bertha, that's right. Little David. Large ship railgun control 2. Or no, turret 1. Oh, turrets. Turret 1, turret 2. Okay. Interior turrets and a Gatling battery, it looks like. ore detectors. Wow, there's a lot. Stone ejector, nanites, more antennas, laser antenna, jump drive, medical room, vents, and then we finally hit the end of it. Holy crap, there's a lot of controls. So, spotlights. Where do those come on? Not really. I guess it's those. Oh, there they are, up on the front. So you have those. Floodlights, or as I would call them, bombardment lights, because that's what they look like. That is pretty cool, though. I like that look. I don't know why it makes me think of, like a spaceship noir somehow. I don't know, but it looks kind of cool. Alright. So, weapons. The fun ones. Ooh. I don't know what I'm looking at, so I hope I don't blow up the ship. Ooh! Ooh! Railguns are fun! Come on, come on. Give me another shot. Give me another shot. Oh! Yeah. That'll work. So, the little Davids... Where is that firing from? Oh, they're on the sides there. Got it. And we know where Bertha is. Right down the middle. So, I don't know why the sound isn't playing. But, not that I really want it to. It'd probably blow your headphones off, because that's... If I recall correctly, that sound effect is really loud. And the other ones are turret controls. Now, the big question on my mind is, does the speed match the gyro turn? Wow, this thing turns really nice. It's got to be the upgraded gyros. Ooh! Ooh, this thing is fun to fly. Oh, that's awesome. Go mods for the win, man. I mean, this is a, what, 27 million kilogram ship, if I'm reading that correctly, and it gets up and goes and flies like a frickin' fighter. I mean, you can pew, 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 pew. That one actually fires pretty good. That's crazy. It works really well, actually. I really did not expect it to move like that. That's awesome. Plus, you've got all these turret. I mean, just don't shoot at the thing. It's got shields, and there's too many barrels. I mean, look at all the barrels. There's just too many barrels. Don't pick a fight with a ship with this many barrels on it. It just doesn't seem like it will end well, honestly. So, yeah. I approve. Really, really awesome. Alright. So I think that's going to wrap up this episode. As always, check the cards for the poll and let me know which one of these three builds you guys would like to see reverse engineered in the next episode of the reverse engineering series. And one other thing I wanted to note, I didn't even realize it until a few days ago, but this should be episode 198 of the Inspiration series, I believe. So we're closing in on the 200th episode, which is a pretty big milestone. I'm thinking I'm going to try over the next couple weeks and go back through all of my episodes that I've done inspiration builds for and compile a collection on Steam that is the Inspiration series, and then when I do more episodes moving forward, I'll just keep adding to the collection. If that were the case, then I'm thinking... Hopefully that'll be done within the next week or so. I'm thinking before our 200th episode, I'd like to let you guys go through that collection and then either comment, post, message me, whatever. Maybe do a poll in the episode 99, or 199, not sure how that'll work, but essentially some way for you guys to let me know out of the entire collection which ones was like your favorite, and maybe doing something like on the 200th episode we do the top 3 from the whole series. Something like that. Because I want to do something kind of special for 200 episodes. I think that's a pretty big milestone, and that's the best I could come up with, and I think it was suggested before to do something similar. So let me know what you guys think about that if you like that idea. If not, feel free to let me know what idea you might have for doing a 200th episode. But in the meantime, we're going to wrap things up here. Don't forget to vote for your build that you want to see dissected in the next episode of the Reverse Engineer series. But with that, we're going to wrap things up here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.